Let me ask you something. How much of your peace disappears because you feel the need to explain yourself? Maybe someone misunderstands your decision, questions your choices, or simply does not agree with you, and suddenly you feel responsible for making them understand. But here is the truth. You do not need everyone to understand you. You only need to understand yourself. The more you try to prove your intentions, defend every decision, and correct every opinion, the more control you give other people over your emotional state. Staying unbothered does not mean becoming cold or careless. It means learning where your energy belongs. In this episode, we are going to explore how to protect your peace, stop reacting to everything, and become more comfortable with being misunderstood. Stay with me, because this is not only about learning English, it is about learning how to live with more confidence, calm, and self-respect. And if this podcast gave you something useful, you know what to do. With love, let's dive in. What changes when you stop explaining yourself? Everything becomes lighter when you realize that every decision does not require an explanation. You can say what you need to say clearly, respectfully, and calmly, then allow your actions to speak for you. Sometimes we explain too much because we are afraid of being judged. We want people to see our intentions, understand our reasons, and approve of our choices. But endless explanations rarely create the peace we are looking for. Instead, they can create more questions, more arguments, and more opportunities for someone to challenge us. There is a quiet strength in saying, "This is what I have decided," without feeling guilty about it. Of course, there are moments when communication is necessary, especially with people we care about. But communication is different from constantly defending yourself. You do not have to win every conversation. Sometimes protecting your peace means knowing when the conversation has already gone far enough, and choosing silence instead of another explanation. Can your emotions control your next decision? They can, especially when you respond before giving yourself time to calm down. Anger, disappointment, fear, and frustration can make a small situation feel enormous. When emotions become intense, we often focus on what we feel instead of what is actually happening. We may send a message we regret, say something too harsh, or make a decision simply because we want the uncomfortable feeling to disappear. Staying unbothered does not mean ignoring your emotions. It means allowing yourself to feel them without allowing them to control your behavior. There is a powerful difference between reacting and responding. A reaction happens quickly. A response gives you space to think. Sometimes that space can be only a few minutes. Sometimes it can be a whole night. Before you answer, ask yourself what outcome you truly want. Will these words bring you peace tomorrow, or will they create another problem? Emotional control is not weakness. It is a form of strength. Why do expectations create so much disappointment? Expectations create disappointment when we expect people to behave according to our standards instead of accepting who they actually are. You may be loyal, thoughtful, honest, and supportive, so naturally, you may expect the same from everyone around you. But people have different values, priorities, emotional skills, and ways of showing care. When someone repeatedly shows you who they are, believing they will suddenly become different can keep you trapped in frustration. This does not mean accepting disrespect or staying close to people who constantly hurt you. It means seeing reality clearly instead of fighting against it in your mind. Pay attention to patterns, not promises. Notice what people consistently do, not only what they say they will do. When you stop expecting everyone to understand you, support you, or treat you exactly as you would treat them, something changes. Disappointment becomes easier to manage. You stop taking everything personally, and you begin protecting your peace through acceptance. What if your progress could speak for you? Your progress can often say more than any explanation ever could. You do not need to announce every plan, prove your ability, or convince people who doubt you that you are capable. Every minute you spend arguing with someone about your potential is a minute you could spend building it. Quiet progress is powerful because it does not depend on applause. You can simply keep learning, improving, working, and moving forward. At first, other people may not notice what you are doing, and that is completely fine. Your responsibility is not to make everyone believe in you. Your responsibility is to become someone you believe in. When your results begin to appear, you will not need to explain them. They will speak clearly on your behalf. So, when someone doubts you, resist the urge to prove yourself immediately. Take that energy and put it somewhere useful. Protect your peace by remembering this. You do not need to win every argument when you can quietly build a life that answers for you. What happens when you stop trying to please everyone? You finally begin to hear your own voice again. No matter how carefully you live, people will have different opinions about you. Some will support your choices, while others will criticize the exact same choices. If you spend your life trying to satisfy everyone, you slowly lose connection with yourself. You begin asking, "What will they think?" before asking, "What do I actually want?" Of course, useful advice matters. We should be willing to listen, learn, and recognize when someone sees something we cannot see ourselves. But listening does not mean obeying every opinion. You are allowed to consider advice and still make your own decision. Not everyone has to approve of your life for your life to be meaningful. Sometimes peace comes from accepting that someone may misunderstand your choice and choosing it anyway. You cannot control everyone's opinion of you. You can only control how much power you give those opinions, and that choice belongs to you. Why should you stop fighting every negative opinion? Because not every opinion deserves your attention. Some people may criticize you because they genuinely see something you need to improve, while others may criticize simply because they do not understand your choices. Learning to tell the difference is an important part of emotional maturity. You do not have to answer every negative comment, correct every misunderstanding, or prove yourself to every person who doubts you. When you constantly defend yourself, you allow someone else's words to occupy space in your mind. Their comment may take 10 seconds to say, but you might spend hours thinking about it. That is a terrible trade for your peace. Instead, ask yourself whether the criticism contains something useful. If it does, learn from it. If it does not, let it pass. You are allowed to leave some words unanswered. Silence is not always weakness. Sometimes silence means you have decided that your energy is more valuable than the argument. Protecting your peace means choosing carefully what deserves your attention. What if being imperfect is actually protecting you? Being imperfect protects you from the exhausting belief that you must always have everything under control. Perfection can sound like a beautiful goal, but when you chase it constantly, it can turn into pressure, fear, and endless self-criticism. You may hesitate to speak because your words are not perfect. You may avoid starting something because you are afraid of making mistakes. You may compare yourself with people who seem more successful and decide that you are not doing enough. But growth does not require perfection. It requires movement. You can make mistakes, learn something, adjust your direction, and continue. That is how real progress happens. Give yourself permission to be a work in progress. You do not need to have the perfect answer, the perfect plan, or the perfect life before you can feel proud of yourself. Peace becomes easier when you stop demanding perfection from yourself. Focus on becoming wiser, stronger, and more confident little by little, because progress creates growth, while perfection often creates unnecessary pressure. How much power does knowing yourself really give you? Knowing yourself gives you the confidence to remain steady when other people misunderstand you. When you understand your values, your priorities, your strengths, your weaknesses, and the kind of person you want to become, outside opinions become less powerful. You no longer need constant approval because your confidence does not depend entirely on what other people say. You can listen to criticism without allowing it to define you. You can accept compliments without becoming dependent on them. Most importantly, you become better at making decisions that actually match the life you want. Self-awareness does not mean believing you are always right. It means being honest enough to recognize when you are wrong and strong enough to correct yourself. When you know your truth, you do not need to explain every part of it to everyone. You can simply live according to it. And when people misunderstand you, you can remind yourself, they are seeing one part of your life, but you are the person living the whole story. Can one simple word completely change your peace? Yes, that word is no. Learning to say no is one of the clearest ways to protect your time, energy, and priorities. Many people say yes because they are afraid of disappointing someone, looking selfish, or being misunderstood. But every unnecessary yes can become a hidden burden. You may agree to something you do not want, then feel frustrated because you gave away time you needed for yourself. Saying no does not mean you do not care. It means you understand that your energy is limited and you are choosing where to place it. You can be kind and still have boundaries. You can love someone and still refuse something that is not right for you. You can respect people without abandoning yourself to keep them happy. A calm, respectful no can be an act of self-respect. So, protect your peace. Stop explaining every decision. Stop chasing everyone's approval, and stop reacting to every opinion. You do not need to become cold. You simply need to become more intentional with your energy. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the next lesson. Your support means so much. It keeps this space alive and growing. With love. Thank you for being here, and I can't wait to continue this journey with you.